Oh, there we are. Hello, everybody. It's Janice from Welcome to Shabala. We are on Wednesday night live with Shabs. I'm Shabs, and our special guest is Danielle. You say your name.
It's Danielle Kaminski. My Facebook name is Danielle Spakes Kaminski. That was my maiden name, and I left it on there so people can find me. But Danielle Kaminski.
All right, because I know when we went down to when I saw you down in South Carolina, everybody was calling you Spakes. Is it Spakes?
Yes.
Yeah. So today I noticed it when I was putting your name on the thing. I said, "Wait a minute, she's Kaminski."
Yeah.
And I met your husband.
Yes.
When we were down there, he is sweet.
He is
a very nice man.
A total sweetheart.
Very handsome too. The long hair and
yes,
that cool vibe going on. Hey guys, so tonight we have Danielle here of Made with Danielle. And I'm using StreamYard. So if you haven't given your permission, I can't see your name. Art by Melanie is here. Hi, Melanie. And Facebook user is here, but I'm so sorry, you guys. I don't know who you are. So just say your name if your name doesn't pop on. So like I said, Danielle is with us tonight. So why don't we have Danielle tell us a little bit about herself and her business and whatever she wants to talk about.
Sure. Well, my name's Danielle. My business is Made by Danielle, and it's for multiple reasons. I made it an acronym because I wanted it to be all caps, and Facebook said it had to be an acronym. So I did that. So
wait a second. I have a question.
Okay.
Don't think I'm stupid. And if my sister is on, my sister was an elementary teacher. No, I don't see your name, who's ever saying that. And she'll be mad at me for saying this. But what's an acronym? I can't remember.
So it's when like the letters mean something. So like MADE, MADE, stands for Meaningful Artisan Designs and Essentials. So that's an acronym. And the main reason I did it was
cool.
Well, I came up with something because so I am just about everything about me and my business is like this. Necessity is the mother of invention, right? Like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the reason that I even make candles in my business, I do a lot of different handmade things. And the reason that I even make candles is because when I first approached the store that is now mine, but when I was just a vendor there, they were looking for someone to make candles. And I had made a half a dozen candles at that point. So I decided that I was a candle maker because I wanted to be a part of this store because it was so cool.
Now, ma'am, it's Liz Armstrong. Okay, Liz, we see you now. I know it's you now. I'll try to sign into StreamYard. Yes, at the top of this event, if you will, on whatever page you're on, underneath my chit chat, there'll be a link, and you just hit that link, and hopefully that'll give permission for your name. How long ago was that, Danielle? When you first started working there, when you went and wanted to get a job there?
Well, so I didn't necessarily go to get a job.
They not
opened. Well, yeah. I went to be a vendor because they had just opened down the street from where I was working is in a tax accounting office. So that was 2014. Okay. And I made jewelry, which is why I went. But they already had a jewelry maker. And so they didn't want to create competition. But they told me they were looking for a candle maker. And I was like, well, I can make candles.
Yeah, I've made candles before. Yeah. So did you do the whole like organic soy candle thingy, or what did you do?
I do soy candles. I do scented soy candles. So I use fragrance oils and soy wax. And at the time, I had just got married in 2013, and our entire wedding was very, very DIY. Everything was outside. We did a lot ourselves. And one of the things that we did, I was a big wine drinker at the time, and my husband really loved craft beer. So almost all of our decor was like recycled wine bottles and beer bottles and that kind of thing. So I had used a glass cutter to cut down the wine bottles, and I poured the candles in the wine bottles.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. So that was how I started. It was the Crafty Wino when I first started.
The Crafty Wino. Yeah. What do you mean that was your business name?
That was my business name when I first started making candles.
You know, when I hear you say necessity, you know, you did what you needed to do, I'm going to listen to you, because people out there, Danielle now owns the store that we went in to make the candles, and I got to see it. Hi, Michelle Bell. Michelle's here. Hi, Michelle.
Oh, hey, Michelle.
I got to see her store. It is called Vintage Warehouse.
Yes.
No. Yes. It was the most beautiful store I have ever seen. We don't have stores like that around here, but it was a DIY, what we do, fairy tale land. Everywhere I looked was so beautiful. I've never seen anything like that before.
Thank you.
If anybody can get down there, go to her store. You will want to leave. Sprinkle. Thank you so much, Michelle. Thank you. You like the craft. Michelle likes the Crafty Wino.
It was fun. It was fun. It lived its life. So I was making jewelry before that, and that was wired essentials, because most of my jewelry was wired.
Yeah.
And I had this dream of having a coffee store one day. So I had come up with a name that could go both ways, and it could have happened, but that's not the direction I went. So anyway, so I had the two business names, and ultimately I was like, I need one business name that covers everything that I want to do, which is where Made by Danielle came from.
Okay.
But I wanted it to be all caps, and Facebook told me you could only have all caps if it was an acronym. So I came up with an acronym.
You sure did. Say it again, what it is.
Meaningful Artisan Designs and Essentials.
Okay, that's really good too.
So I mean, it works. And it means that I don't always have to be the one to make it, even though I usually am. Sometimes I find things that I buy to resell, and that works too.
Mm-hmm. So. Yeah. So now, when I didn't know that you were doing your weaving, what do you call it? The art that you do? I can see some behind you.
So these are round weavings on the wall behind me. So in 2020, right at the beginning of the year, it actually might have been at the very end of 2019, but I stumbled across an Instagram account for Ashton Zager Fiber Arts. She's really talented. She's out of Asheville, and she does these round weavings, and she puts together these kits every month. And you get everything you need in the kit to do one of these round pieces. Okay. So starting at the beginning of 2020, I was buying a kit every month. And making one and adding it to my wall. So at first I was just doing it for me. And then eventually it became more than that, because I fell in love with it. But that was what got me started. So these are all round weavings. And now I've gotten to where my favorite thing to do is actually to paint a canvas and then stitch a loom onto the canvas and weave on top of the paint. Add another dimension to it.
I'm so glad that's your favorite, because when I went to your store, I saw you weaving in I saw it on chairs, I saw it on all different things. And then I rounded the corner opposite of where, Jerry is.
Yes.
There was some stuff, and there was a painting with the weaving. And I said, oh my God, she does canvas too. So I'm really glad that's your favorite, because that's like my love is canvas, but I could never, but it's the fact that you incorporated the weaving with it is remarkable. Brianna Hayes is here.
Hey,
hello, Brianna. How are you? We're here with Danielle Kaminski of Made by Danielle. So what are you going to make tonight?
So I'm working on a pillow. So I'm doing a weaving class right now. It's a virtual class for a pillow, and signups run through Thursday. So I'm trying to finish this one up so that when I go on my page to finish it, it's done. So that's what I'm working on.
Good. Very nice. So can we see it?
Yes. Hang on, we'll face the camera down. So you can see what we're doing here. Let's see.
So the whole pillow is going to be weaved.
Yeah.
That is gorgeous.
Yep. So so I like I enjoy the process of this, because You get to just work in straight lines. It's very relaxing. And
Is
then you
it?
fill up the entire loom, and once it's done, you take it off and put it on the pillow. And I love it.
It's beautiful. I'll turn my camera down to what I'm working on. I'm working on the same thing that I've been working on for days, which is my bureau that I'm painting a vase on, that I got inspired by a company in Boston called Dare to Be Vintage. And
Yes.
so I'm having a really hard time with it, everybody. So I'm just going to keep painting. Danielle will weave, and I will read the comments. Facebook user, I'm so sorry, I don't know your name. I'm using StreamYard tonight, so I'm all over the place. I'm in YouTube and 2 Facebook groups.
Oh, well, that explains that, because you were talking. I have my tablet up so that I could read comments, and you were talking to someone that I did not see their comments on my tablet.
Yeah, so you're probably reading it on, where are you on my business
I'm watching
page?
Facebook.
Yeah. So, but these roses are killing me, you guys. I'm having the worst time. They're killing me.
I love it. I love what you're working on. I saw the inspiration picture that you posted too. It's lovely. I can't wait to see it all.
Oh God. And guess what? So hi Jan, I bet you that's my sister Debbie. Hi Deb. Guess what, Danielle and everybody? So I tagged Dare to Be Vintage on the post, because I was using their photo.
Right.
And I'm saying, this is my inspiration photo. I'm going to paint it tonight and blah, blah, blah. And then they commented, very nice comment. And she said it was a decoupage paper.
Oh, wow.
I'm like, you're kidding me. I just spackled my bureau. I could have just gotten a decoupage paper, but I think it's a paper that was created from their art. You know how people are doing that a lot lately?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I'm having a hard time. I know Melanie was just, Melanie makes these kind of roses, and she makes it look so easy.
Melanie's so good, though.
She is.
She's just a natural.
She really is. She really is.
I'm really jealous. So I'm going to the Courage on Canvas retreat that Dion Woods is having in April.
The one in April. Okay.
And I'm super excited because Kelly Wilder's going to be there with her. And I love Kelly. So I cannot wait to paint with them. I was a little jealous when I saw that Melanie was going to be helping lead the one in the fall, because I would love to learn from Melanie too. She's so talented.
Melanie came to my retreat that I had in November. And last November, and Melanie taught her angel painting. And everybody's angel, well, I know she does a lot of angel painting, but we picked one in particular. But it was, signature Melanie with the beautiful wings and the beautiful colors. And everybody's came out so good, because she is a fantastic. Oh, there she is. Girl, you got this. Who, me? These roses, Melanie, I need you here to paint these roses. I can't do it. This is like the 10th layer. I mean, I love it. I'm struggling.
I think you're doing great. I love it. You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of Kristen Calhoun's roses. Have you ever seen her roses?
Yeah.
It very much reminds me of some roses that she has done before. And I think it's because I was watching you last night. You were using a palette knife.
Yeah.
And Kristen uses a lot of palette knives in her work too.
Yeah, so. I struggle with the brush. I don't know why. I really want to just throw this thing down and use my palette knife or my fingers. I like to finger paint.
Oh, yeah.
And that's all Dion Woods' fault.
That's what I was about to say. Are you in the finger painting group?
I'm not in her finger painting group, but I'm in the Creative Connection. And when I first joined her group, one of her challenges was a finger painting challenge.
Okay.
And so I did some florals, my first florals ever, and I just loved it.
Yeah.
I just feel so much better doing. Melanie, if you're still there, have you ever painted your roses with your fingers? Do you finger paint? I think it's a big thing nowadays.
I think I like it because, and I think that most people like it because it's very organic. It lets you kind of, I don't know, you experience the canvas differently when you're using your hands like that.
I'm having a hard time with your sound, Danielle.
You are?
Yeah.
Hmm.
It's I can hear you, but it's like uh sounds like tin. How is everybody? Can everybody hear Danielle okay? Oh, Melanie hasn't finger painted. We gotta get her on, Melanie. You gonna come paint with me and do finger painting? Yes,
So
then we
I had my
that's
charger
better.
plugged in just as a precaution. Did that help when I took
Yes,
it
it
out?
did. Yes.
Okay.
Are you guys watching her weave? Watching Danielle weave? It does look relaxing.
Gosh, it's one of my favorite things to do.
Oh, retro vintage Luciano. Georgina is in the house. Hello again. Hello, Jeanette. How are you? How are you feeling? Sure, I'm up for it. Okay, cool, Melanie. Melanie's up for anything. Yeah, so yeah, Dion was telling we were talking because I'm in the Empowered by Design group. Did you do that?
I did. I was in her when did I do that? I did it last year. I was in the first group that went through last year, 2021.
Okay, I'm in it now, and we're in our last month.
Yes.
And goes by so fast.
It really does.
For those of you who don't know, Dion Woods Turquoise Artist is a coaching group, business coaching, I guess, right? Business
Yes.
mindset and a bunch of things. And it's a 6-month course. And the best part of it is you get a one-on-one phone call once a month for an hour with Dion. And she just knows how to tune in to who she's talking to.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. She is a great listener. She can even hear the things that you're not saying out loud.
Yeah, and she gave me really a lot of times very, very good advice that I will, I'll always have that,
Oh yeah.
So they're really good. Um, the weaving looks so fun. My daughter-in-law does weaving and will teach me.
Oh yeah.
And Michelle said she's very intuitive, meaning Dion, very much so, Michelle.
Yes,
And
Michelle and I were in EBD together.
oh, you were?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow, cool. She was saying that she still had some tickets left for the April uh retreat, but I can't go. What is it, early April?
It's yes, it's the very first week of April. It's the 4th
Yeah.
through the 8th. I'm
Oh,
super
okay.
excited to go. So I love going to her retreats. I love going to
Oh,
her retreats. But
it,
last year they were 1 month apart. There was one in September and one in October. And
mm-hmm.
because I am one of those people that I have this serious fear of missing out. Like I told myself, I
Okay.
didn't even look at the website until the tickets went on sale for Courage on Canvas because they went on sale the same day. And I was like,
Okay.
I'm not going to buy tickets to both. I'm only going to the one. But then I bought my ticket to the one and they still had tickets left for the other one. And it was, so anyway, like I said, the FOMO was very real for me. And so I ended up going to both retreats
Mm-hmm.
last year, which was
Mm-hmm.
wonderful and fun. And I got a lot out of them, but oh my goodness, I have a store
Yes, you
that's
do.
open 7 days
A
a
big
week,
store.
a big store. And then the fall is a insanely busy time for us, fall
Yeah.
and fourth quarter. So yeah, I was really struggling to keep up. So I was like, okay, I can't do this in the fall again. So when she announced that she was having an April retreat, I knew that was the one I was going to have to go to this year.
Yeah, I was in that one with you last year, the one in
Yes.
Galveston.
You came to the Empowering Creativity retreat, right?
No, the Courage on
You came
Canvas.
to Courage on Canvas. Okay.
Courage on Canvas. And I loved it. I was nervous. I wasn't nervous to go, but when I got there, I'm like, oh my God, I did this. And I'm alone. Not alone because you don't feel alone. But at first it's like, wow, I can't believe I'm doing this. But oh my God, um, what a wonderful experience.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, Michelle, you've been saying that for a long time. Michelle said, I'll be going to one someday. She's got to go. You got
I
to
know.
go.
But
Now,
I tell you, she needs to go to one of Dion's one day. She's going to love it. And especially if she gets to go to one where she gets to paint. But, Michelle's going to be in Spartanburg in September for the Makers and Shakers conference.
can you please tell me a little bit about that? Because I don't know anything about that. And Jerry was telling me about it. And how did I miss out on that whole thing? What is that all about?
So it's a small business conference. It's 3 days. It's not like a retreat. So there's 200 tickets. It's going to be in a conference center here in Spartanburg, the Marriott. Did you stay at the Marriott when you came?
I stayed where Kim stayed. Yeah, I think
y'all stayed at the Marriott. So they have a really
nice.
great conference center inside that hotel. And that's where we're going to be having it. And it's going to be a 3-day event. We're going to have breakout sessions. So Dion is one of our keynote speakers. And wonderful. I get to announce our second keynote speaker next week. Really excited about it.
You sure you don't want to announce it here right now?
I wish I could. But she's still getting me her speaker profile. And I want to make sure that I say all the things that she wants me to say.
Okay.
But I'm very excited about it.
I understand. So now, is this your brainchild?
So yes. After one of the other retreats, I love these retreats so much. I get so much out of it.
Yeah,
but
me too.
I'm also in a place in my business where I mean, and I think you're like this too, Janice. Like I want to learn as much as I possibly can. So in addition to the retreat, I really wanted something where I would just go and like sit down with a notebook and learn as much as I possibly could for 3 days.
You know what? I could use that. What my problem is among a lot, but the biggest one with this business, because I've been in about 2 years, and I get very overwhelmed by how my focus isn't good. Like I need to find, like Dion says, like what works for you and what doesn't work for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And throw out the things that don't work for you and keep the things that work for you. But did you have to fine tune your focus, like as far as like this is my avenue?
Yeah. And I still have to every now. I mean, like periodically I still have to kind of like come back in and do that. And I think that's sort of a constant thing for a lot of us, especially those of us who are multi-passionate, who like to do lots of different things. That's a good way
to put it, Danielle. I like that.
Yeah.
The multi-passionate. We're a bunch of multi-passionate people. That's for darn sure.
We like to do all the things. And like I said, that fear of missing out is real. But sometimes you just discover that it's like, okay, you know what? This isn't working for me. And if I'm forcing it, then no one's getting anything good out of it.
Right.
But yeah, so the conference is going to be a lot of breakout sessions. So like I said, Dion's one of our keynote speakers, and we'll have one more. So we've got some main sessions, some Q&A kind of things. We'll be together for lunch every day. But then when people sign up for the conference, they're answering a questionnaire, which is going to help us put them into smaller focus groups based on how their business is set up, what they need to learn, all of that good stuff. And then you're going to have 7 breakout sessions over the course of 3 days.
Wonderful.
And we're going to be talking about things like digital marketing and additional revenue streams.
I could probably. Now, I didn't hear about that. How are you marketing that? Like, how do people find out about that?
So we've been marketing it through the podcast, through the Makers Chat podcast. Carrie Johnson with Rose City Boutique, she is helping me. She is like my assistant coordinator. She's really helping me put a lot of it together. And then we have an event team that's helping us get the word out. Michelle's going to be on the event team, as is Jerry. So a lot of the people that are on the event team, they're either vendors in my store or they're in my membership group, and they've kind of been helping me as I formulated the ideas. So we've been trickling the information out, and right now it's still early bird pricing. So it's makersandShakersconference.com, and the early bird price is $2.95, and that's just the ticket price, but it does include lunch for 3 days.
Oh,
and some
that's
snacks
good.
and things, but then you'll have to cover your lodging, but you can stay
Right.
on site at the Marriott.
Stay on site. That makes it easy. And we had they have like a restaurant area, so they have food there.
Yeah.
And I think there was outdoor seating too, but when we were there, it was colder. But
yeah, because it was December.
yeah, it was December.
So this will be in September. The weather is really great here. It's just starting to chill. I mean, it's not really cooling off too much, but the heat of summer is kind of past us at that point.
Yeah.
So it should be really great weather in September.
And about how many tickets are about how many people, how large or small is it going to be?
So we're planning for 200 attendees.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it is. Woo! And we're hoping we're aiming to get people from all kinds of different disciplines. Our speakers are from all kinds of different disciplines. Okay. We have a photographer teaching a breakout session to help people with like product photography and selfies and all the good stuff like that. We have Cami Collins is going to be there. She's going to be talking digital marketing.
Yeah.
Trying to think all the people that we have. Amy Sadler is going to be there talking about content and affiliate programs. We have someone talking to us about YouTube. Melissa Morrow is going to be there. She's going to be talking about displays and merchandising.
Oh, wow.
We've got a great team of people. I'm leaving people out. So now I'm just trying to name all the names so that I don't leave anyone out. Like I said, Dion's going to be there. Cami, Christy Johnson, she's our photographer that's going to be there. Amy Sadler, Melissa Morrow, Cami,
Michelle.
Michelle's on our event team, yeah, and so is Crystal Molina, and oh gosh, Jerry. I'm going to leave out names here because we got 12 people on the team.
Oh, that's okay.
Well, so it's a lot of people coming together to put it together and talk about what we want to learn, because we all do. It's kind of like you just said. We all do business differently, so we want to make sure that all of these sessions, that's one of the reasons we're putting people into tracks. So like, for example, everyone is going to have a breakout session with Cami, but the person who is running a brick and mortar is going to need different information on digital marketing than the person who is just creating handmade products and selling on Etsy maybe.
Wow.
So it'll be similar breakout sessions, but the information will be targeted towards the type of business that the attendee is running.
That's really good.
We're so excited about it.
I'm just like in awe of you.
Don't be.
Okay.
Please don't be.
No, but I mean, like you do a lot. You do a lot.
And sometimes I do more than I should. Like I said, there's that fear of missing out. Sometimes I run myself a little ragged.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I can't sit still. I've never been able to sit still. I've always got to have a lot of things going on. So
I'm bad. I can sit still.
Hey, that's not bad.
It is bad. It's
bad. My family wishes I would sit still a little more often.
And like my mother, if my sister Debbie is still on, my mother used to sit and my grandmother used to sit, and I can sit, and that's why I have to work. Like I have to constantly have stimulation. I have to have, because if I don't, I just stop.
Yeah.
Like there's no middle ground. It's all or nothing all the time.
Are you, have you ever taken the Enneagram test to know what type you are?
It was part of EBD and I did not do it. I haven't been very good. I really have not been keeping up, but, have you took it, I'm sure, and you know what you are.
I'm an Enneagram geek. I'm a type 3. I'm the achiever. I'm the one that's always trying to do stuff. Hence what we're talking about. I can't say no. I got to do it all.
But you do it all with a smile on your face, and it's making you happy.
It does. It does. Being busy is really good for me. I'm happiest when I'm going like that.
Yeah.
When I'm getting stuff done and trying new things, that's what makes me happy.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't make me happy when I sit. Like when I don't get things done, I get the anxiety gets really bad and then I sit more. Like it doesn't,
Yeah.
that trap. So it's like I have to get up, get out the door. Um, I don't know. I kind of need constant things to force me to do things.
Yeah.
But I always want to do things too. Like I had that event in November.
Yeah.
And I mean, I just started this business and here I am creating this huge event
Yeah.
and I had to downsize it because I made it like way too big.
Well, that's okay.
So I did, but it's like, yeah, I want to do all these things, but I need to give myself a little bit of time to grow a little bit in the
Yeah.
business before I can start doing all these.
I get it. Well, and honestly, this conference for me was a lot to bite off.
I
But
believe
my
it.
big thing, the reason that we're doing it this way, and that I felt confident that we could pull it off, is because there were so many people that were willing to get involved and be a part of it.
Yeah,
So that is really a team effort when you try to do something that big.
right,
So
right. Well, I know that when I was doing, yeah, it's you got to ask for help. It's
yeah.
always good to have help.
It
I
really
mean,
is. And like even with the store, you were talking about how much you love the store, and I
oh
love
my
the store
God,
too, but like
it's
there's
great.
no way that store would be what it is if it weren't for the staff and the people who are helping me run the desk, and the vendors that are helping come up with ideas. And
I
one
met a
one
lot of
person can't do all that.
I met a lot of your vendors. Uh, there was a few there was one girl, she talked. She was really good. She stood up and she talked. She's got
Yes.
long hair. What was her name? What's her name?
Alicia. Her name is Alicia
Alicia.
Mesmer. Her business is Ruby Grace Designs. So
Yes,
she's a
yes,
furniture painter too.
yes,
She
yes,
also does
yes.
stained glass.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
She was a sweetheart. She's a sweetheart.
she is.
And I met Jerry there.
Yep.
Um, and let's see who else. We all bought tons of jewelry from that one jeweler.
Crazy good jewelry.
Crazy good jewelry. Yeah, and it was funniest thing because her jewelry was in our hotel in the gift store.
Yes.
So before we even went to your store, we were buying her jewelry.
Yes.
And then we went to your store and we're like, wait a minute, is this the same person? So we
Yep.
bought more. We bought more.
She's very talented, and she has her jewelry in a couple of local hotels actually.
Oh yeah?
Um yeah, which is great. People get an opportunity when they're visiting to sort of see what the town has to offer.
Yeah. Yeah, it was very
We
nice.
have a really decent arts community here in Spartanburg.
Mm-hmm.
We have the local cultural center. They have the artist guild. Our local artist guild has a gallery there, and then there is a co-op down on West Main Street, headed toward the west side of town. There's some
Uh-huh.
really talented artists there as well. And then there's another art gallery. It's called the Art Lounge, and it's even over on the other side of town. So like we have a lot of really great places for artists in our community to be able to show their work, and lots of different shows and things like that we have a chance to be a part of.
Oh, that's good.
And
We
we're
have
not far from Greenville, which also has a really great arts community. So I'm lucky
good.
to, even though it's not like a huge, metropolitan area, there's still a lot to do here and a lot of opportunities for creative businesses.
Oh, somebody can't hear anything. I'm sorry. I don't know why.
Can't
Um,
hear.
somebody's saying they're having I don't know why, but I can't hear anything. Says it's um, auto generated. I don't know what that is. My,
Okay, so it might be that her video is muted or the sound is off um on her thing, because when I'm watching on Facebook, I have my sound completely down, and so
okay.
it is auto generating captions.
Oh,
which is good for me because I don't want the echo. I can read comments and read what we're saying and everything, but maybe check your volume and make sure that you have your sound up.
I don't know who that is. Is that Debbie? Is that my sister saying she can't get the sound?
It must be someone in one of your groups or on YouTube because it's not on the Facebook feed.
I can't handle these roses. They're making me crazy. I just want to blow this thing up.
Well, I tell you, from where I am, Janice, I think you're looking great. I wonder if you're just too close.
Well, Vicky, who works with me, she kept making me stand up and walking out the door of the store, like across the wall and looking at
to make you reset.
To make me look at them because she's like, my face is right in them, you know? And I've been sitting here like all day. I've been sitting here for so long. Vicky painted a whole huge lane cedar chest in DIY's Farm Fresh, beautiful color. She sanded the top. She put molds on it. She finished the stupid thing, and I'm still can't do this. Can't finish this. I'm very slow.
That's a lot of detail. So that's going to take longer.
Yeah, she's funny. It's nice. So I hired somebody to work with me. So it's really great. It's good because I was having a hard time like finding time to be creative.
Yeah.
Because there was just, you know what it's like. And my store is the size of one of your vendor booths. my store is about 800 square feet. But it's all the
size.
The IOD and the DIY, like all that, the product and inventory and all that stuff, and the Etsy shop. And I don't know, it was just time consuming. So Vicky is a creative and she loves making all the stuff that we love to make. But she does not want to come on camera. So she wants to stay behind the scenes.
I understand that. Most of my staff is the same way.
She is wonderful. Oh my God, she's getting me so organized, and it's great. It's really good. Yeah.
Having someone like that that understands what you're doing, that's excited to help you grow, like it makes all the difference in the world.
Yeah.
Stephanie is our store manager at the warehouse, and she's phenomenal. Like, best decision I ever made. Hiring her.
So
she's
good.
Wonderful.
And she understands like my crazy, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, she doesn't get exasperated with me, you know, like, because I'm very messy and I'm very scatterbrained and just crazy. And she's right there with me. Like, she's one of us. She's definitely one of our tribes. One of our, yeah. So this person is having captions, so that's good. That weaving is gorgeous. So is it hard to take that out of there?
No, it's really not. I wish I were closer to the end and I'd show you the process. It's really not that. So this particular project, like I said, it's a pillow weaving. That's what we're doing. So I fill up the entire frame and I start the process and end the process with what they call larkspur knots. And what that does is it helps the weaving keep its shape so that when I do take it off of the loom, it doesn't just fall apart on me. And then also we knot down the sides, we leave fringe, and then we knot it together so that literally there's a row of knots along all four sides of the weaving so that when we take it off the loom, it doesn't fall apart.
Wow.
And then we're able to finish it and stitch it onto our pillowcase.
Oh, wow. Okay. So now this class you're doing is a virtual
This
class?
Is a virtual one. So I've had 3 pillow classes in person at the store over the past couple of months.
Beautiful.
And it's been so fun. And a lot of people were asking for a virtual version. So I am teaching a virtual class, and it's going to be the Zoom sessions that people can join are going to be over the weekend of March 26th.
Okay.
So we'll have a class Saturday morning at 10, Sunday afternoon at 2, and Monday evening at 8. But all of the actual learning, all of the actual steps will be pre-recorded in short little video tutorials. So
Okay.
people can actually watch it over and over again if they need to, like while they're trying to learn. And
Yeah.
then, kind
I
of
was
do that whole
wondering,
process.
yeah, I was wondering how I was gonna ask you it would how difficult is it to teach virtually? So that makes sense to have pre-recorded video because I think that would be kind of difficult to
It
like if they're
Yeah,
not
to do
there
it virtually
physically.
for
Yeah.
sure. So even in person, what I've done, and like I said, had I not taught it multiple times in person first, I would have never started it virtually. But what I learned was for most of the people who were taking the class, it was sorry, I'm grabbing another fiber here. So for most of the people who took the class, I would show them, I would be like standing, across the table or whatever, and I would do the stitch on my loom and talk through it. But then ultimately, people learned best when I walked around and
Yeah.
demonstrated on their loom right in front of them,
Yeah.
which
Yeah, I
is when
can
I
see that.
learned that, like, actually, this virtual thing might not be a bad idea because this is exactly how I'll record it. This setup that I'm at today,
Mm-hmm.
actually, it'll be a little bit more like this
Yeah.
so that you can see a little bit more of the space that I'm working on. And
Hmm.
I'll go back and forth from this kind of a view to something super close so that they
Yeah.
can see, but it'll be very back and forth as far as the angles, and they'll be able to literally, it's going to be a series of short videos that
Oh, wow.
show each step of the process so they
Hmm.
could watch that step. Like if they're struggling with it, they could literally watch it over and over again until they get it right, which is
Is it,
what the people who struggled with different steps in class, that was what they needed. They needed
yeah.
to watch me do it multiple times, and
Hmm.
then they would do it once, and if it was wrong, then they'd watch what I did and do it again. So I think that it's going to work out really well for most people, but I'm still doing the Zoom sessions because if somebody, watches the tutorials and it still has questions or whatever, I want them to have
I think
the
that's a great
opportunity to
idea.
ask their questions or have it
I
explained in a different
definitely.
way or whatever they need.
That takes the stress out of it, out of the, if, especially if they're new. Now, is it beginner? Is it more of a beginner session or do you have
It
to have
really
some
is.
experience?
And it's so here's the thing. It's funny because I had it when we do this in person from start to finish, it's an all day workshop. We start at 9 o'clock in the morning and we're not done until about 6 o'clock or even later in the evening.
Oh, wow. My hands
But
would be all cramped up.
right. So that's the other thing that I think people are really going to like about the virtual option is that they're going to be able to spread it out over a couple of days and still
Yeah.
have access to come in and ask questions and that kind of thing. Um, because, sometimes you just need to walk away for a minute.
Right. Oh, definitely. Of course.
So that way they'll be able to do that. But also, even though it takes that long, I just teach, let me think, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I really just teach 5, maybe 6 stitches.
Mm-hmm.
And they're all like relatively basic. And because we literally just go one line at a time and I'll leave the fringe on the edge, you don't even have to go like back and forth kind of thing. You don't have to weave in your ends on the project. There's a lot of things that because we do it this way, it actually makes it a very simple project.
Oh,
So
good.
it really
Yeah.
is perfect for beginners.
It doesn't
Um,
look, it looks, it's so beautiful.
but the finished product, because it does take longer and you're creating a pillow, the
Mm-hmm.
finished product is actually really luxurious. you
Oh,
know
yeah.
so even though it's a beginner project and it takes a little bit of time, at the end of the day you have this really nice pillow,
And you have a skill.
and you
You
have
have,
a skill.
yeah.
And especially so with the in-person class, the loom is not included in the cost of the class because
Oh,
someone might just want to come make one pillow and be done with it.
right,
So I
right.
don't automatically make them cover the cost of the loom. But then if they love it, then they can buy the loom and they can buy it at my cost when
Oh,
class
that's
is
good.
over.
Yeah.
So for the virtual class, you do, the loom is included in the cost of the class, obviously.
So you send them the fibers and everything?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
wow, nice.
So even though class is the weekend of the 26th, I am actually trying to get these in the mail by Thursday because you know how the mail's been lately.
Yes.
So I want to make sure that everyone has time and gets their package. So I'll be sending these out. So when you go to my website, it's daniellekaminski.com/shop, and you'll be able to see the listing. And they actually get to choose their colors. So there's 4 color options. One is basically all neutrals. One has some blues. It's mostly neutrals, but has some blue in it. There's one that's called autumn tones that has some really muted kind of fall colors. They're real pretty. And then there's one that's got a more beachy feel to it.
Oh, cool.
So there's a couple of different color options, but the fiber types in the kits are the same.
Okay.
So you'll have different color options, but the skill that you learn and the process and everything is going to be the same. And you're going to have all the same types of materials. So, and then you get that in the kit and some extra needles and the pillowcase and the pillow insert.
I think that's fascinating. Pam Dudley is on. Hi, Pam.
Hey, Pam.
Pam said hi, Danielle.
Hey,
I am just fascinated by everything that you do. I can't help it. Okay, what does it say? Love your conversations, very interesting and informative. I bet you that's my sister. I do. I love talking to everybody, and I end up just kind of watching what you guys do. Last week I had Christy Wright on, and she was doing watercolor. And I can't do watercolor, so I just pretended, and I just watched her. Some really wonderful tips. People, you guys are all great teachers, and give us all some really wonderful tips and ideas. But this would be something my sister I think Debbie would like to do. You know one thing I want to say about it is, when I paint, I used to paint really big and fast and just really messy. I still do, but when I get down to the intricate, like little teeny details, that's when I find it really, really relaxing. And I was kind of surprised at that. I thought that would stress me out, so I intentionally wouldn't do fine things because I thought it was less stress to just go crazy. But it's the exact opposite. And so what you're doing there is kind of like intricate, and I think it would even relax me.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I find it very relaxing. Like I said, when I first started, it truly was more of a therapeutic thing for me.
Yeah.
I mean, I know everyone had a hard time in 2020, but we had some extra personal stuff going on too at the time that it was just like, I just needed to kind of turn off a little bit. And it was exactly what I needed.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Pam Dudley says, I love what you do, Danielle.
Thank you, Pam.
Yeah. So, so I need to follow you more. And okay, so tell me about the podcast.
Yes.
And Danielle also has a podcast, you guys. So what do we got? We got Made by Danielle.
We got Made by Danielle, which is the stuff that I make.
Which is the stuff that Danielle made.
Chat, which is the podcast, which is where I talk to other creatives and do like teaching and tips and things like that. That's sort of the umbrella. I have a course and a membership that kind of falls under that same umbrella. And then I have my store, Reinventage Warehouse, which is in Spartanburg, South Carolina. And we have just under 60 vendors under one roof. It's a big warehouse. It's 30,000 square feet. So lots of people.
Now, your podcast, what do you mean? You said there's a membership and under an umbrella. Like, what does that mean?
I say under the umbrella because to me, it's more teaching, I guess, whereas Made by Danielle is just about the stuff that I make.
Okay.
You know, these are the products that I make and sell. But I guess I could do it all under the same umbrella. But Maker's Chat is really about bringing in other makers to interview them and talk to them about different things and learn from them, because we all have different skill sets, and I want to like highlight what everyone's good at. And then every now and then I'll do episodes by myself where I'll just share. Like last week, I did an episode by myself and I talked about revitalizing sales, because, you know, this time of year, people, especially for handmade business owners, we have a lot of business in the fourth quarter, and it's easy to get discouraged when you start a new year and sales kind of drop off.
Right,
So I
right.
did an episode about how to kind of like, you know, troubleshoot when you have low sales and that kind of thing. And so sometimes I'll do that kind of thing on there too. And then, like I said, I had put a course together a couple years ago and I reworked it this past year. It's called the Maker's Framework. And I have a membership group called The Mill. And it's more like an accountability group than
Oh,
anything.
okay. Yeah, I've heard about that. I heard about that when I was in Texas. Christy Skinner is in that group,
Yes.
right? That's that group. Okay.
Yes. So, and I
Wow.
started doing it, honestly, for me, I started doing it because with you know, I have that many vendors and I was always trying to do things to like teach inside our group.
Yeah.
And some
Yeah.
people were really interested in learning and some people, you know, were not as interested in learning. So I was trying to make it to where I could reach a larger group of people, even people who weren't my vendors or who hadn't gotten to that point in their business yet. But also, you know, so that if my vendors weren't interested in learning, you know, how to grow and do those kinds of things, they really just wanted to do the in-person vendor booth and not really look into all the other stuff.
Right.
They weren't necessarily required to or inundated with that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I sort of let it take on its own little life.
Wonderful. Well, I'm gonna have to find your podcast. I've not been listening to podcasts. I know Dion does it. I think Debbie's doing it now, Debbie Beard. And I've not been listening, and I don't know why. I think it's the whole being overwhelmed by everything syndrome again.
Yes. And
You know,
sometimes you
hello,
can't take it
Facebook
all
users.
in. And I mean, I think that's okay too. You've got to determine
But
what works for
yeah,
you.
I need to find, but I need, like, when we were talking about, I actually had a very good January, which was due to just some local customers who found me, who found me on the IOD locator, store
Yes.
locator, and they were so happy that there was somebody local. So so they, 3 new customers came in. So for a little store, 3 new customers is good.
Yeah.
And then February was down, and I'm just like, yeah, I was talking to Vicky this morning about I gotta reach more people, because I feel like the people I'm reaching now, they're either already, they already are established, or they already have their vendor, like, you know what I mean?
Right.
They've been around.
Right.
So, I'm trying to reach out more into the community,
Yeah.
and just get and the way to do that, the way I've been doing that is I found a bunch of Facebook groups that
Yes.
are like Rhode Island creatives, Rhode Island
Yeah.
artists, like all different kind of creative groups
Mm-hmm.
in like the Northeast. So
Yeah.
I'm starting to, because where I'm always on, I'm always, in Dion's group and all you guys' group, but I'm like, I got to start getting out there into the people who are local.
Right.
So that
Because
we
that's
know
your
we're here.
customer base for your store.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's a learning thing, and it sounds obvious now that I'm saying it, but I was so immersed in our culture, like our community, that I love so much that I
Right.
forgot about, oh, maybe there's creative groups like local.
Right. And I mean, and if there's
And there
not,
are.
then you can start them up. And I mean, like, so for you, you are you're starting up something. Have you been
Yes,
talking about that on your lives?
I have not. And to be honest, Danielle, that is why am I yelling? I feel like
No.
I'm talking really, okay. That's why I went to those groups, because so I'll talk a little bit about that. I was invited by Jerry. What's Powtat? How do you say her last name?
Powtac?
Yes, to have a local chapter of her Small Biz Bosses Group. So I actually need to call Jerry and really like have like major conversations about what it is like that, what our goals are and all of that. But I do know that I need to need to reach out and find the small business owners locally so that we can get together face to face once a quarter, once a month, and have meetings and just talk about all the stuff that we go through. Because when you were talking earlier about retreats, um, when we get together, our conversations and our communication it's just so ignited all the time. And we all have so much in common that the best part of it is just meeting each other, being together, knowing we're all similar types of people and doing the same things. And we can all help each other out because, like you said, everybody has different, different things that they can offer. And so, and you know what, when I did that event in November, that's kind of what I was thinking about, but I went about it the wrong way. So when Jerry invited me to work with her, and after talking to her, I'm like, oh my God, that is exactly, she was saying this is her heart. This is what she really wants to do. And the more I talked to her, the more I realized that that's what I've been trying to do, but
just didn't have words for it. Maybe
I just didn't have words. And I was trying to do, I think, what I was used to seeing. Like when I worked for an insurance company, I went to conferences. So I was trying to make them what like I was used to seeing.
Yeah.
And like what I saw with Dion and what I saw, like what I've seen. But I don't know whether that wasn't necessarily what it is Jerry and I are going to do. We're going to focus more on the small business and what we can do, support each other and help each other.
Right.
Janice, your flowers are looking very nice. And Danielle, I really like your weave and the color scheme you are doing.
Thank you guys.
And I'm so sorry, I don't know who that is, Facebook user. I have somebody saying hello. Hello, everybody. Just say your name just in case. Thank you so much for being here. Yeah, Danielle is an amazing everything businesswoman. She's an amazing businesswoman, amazing artist, an amazing speaker. And Danielle, you also have some moves. I saw some moves. I saw that little TikTok thing you guys did, dancing, Michelle and Jerry.
Yes. So that was for the conference. That was our conference team.
That was great.
That was fun.
That TikTok it came out excellent, like really professional looking.
Well, thank you. We had so much fun with that.
Hey, Christy Wright. Yay. Christy Wright's on and Vicky's on. And I'm going to start listening to Danielle's podcast. I think you're going to be my first foray into Podcastville.
Oh, well, thank you. I'm honored.
Yes.
So we started this year. So I started it in April of last year. So there's lots, that you could go back and listen to.
Okay.
But this year we did start because I always interview people on Zoom because I have to be able to see somebody to really talk to them.
Yeah.
And so I was like, you know what? We've got video. And Jerry was actually the one who first told me. She's like, you need to put it on video. I can't listen. Like, she's like, I've got to be able to watch. I can't just listen to what someone says.
Yeah, I think I have that in my head too about the podcast. It's like going back to radio, like going back in time.
Yeah. Well, so this year we have a YouTube channel now. So Makers Chat podcast is still a podcast. There's still the audio podcast that's everywhere. But like we've got a YouTube channel so you can actually watch the interviews if that's easier for you. It's the exact same audio, but you get to see our faces and watch us talk to each other.
See, now I feel like I could do that.
Yeah.
Because that's what I like to do with when the guests come on. Like I feel like I'm doing a podcast.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
You basically are. You're doing a series. You're talking to people. You're interviewing them. And that's why. So like Debbie, you mentioned that Debbie's doing the podcast and she is, but I think hers is it's a series on her YouTube channel. I don't think she
Oh,
has added like a purely audio thing yet. Maybe she has, and I just didn't know it. But I think mostly she's doing it just through her YouTube channel.
oh, okay. Yeah, I'm so behind. I gotta get you make me I'm gonna work really hard, Danielle.
Well, I'm not trying to give you homework. I'm just
Let me see your face. I want to see your face. There
not
she
trying to give you
is.
homework.
Hey, Danielle. Not that I don't love your pillow, but I'm
Oh, I
sitting here
understand.
every
I'm
but
nodding right now too, so this isn't necessarily the fun part. As I like to nod as I go, because every now and then with these fringes, especially, I forget to make them long enough to
yeah.
knot. So I
Yeah.
knot as I go so that I don't lose
Can
track of.
people with arthritis probably not do that? Because I have arthritis and
It can
my
get to
hands
you if you have
cool.
arthritis, because I don't have arthritis or anything like that, and still, if I do it for long enough,
You still
it'll
get,
have me cramping up a little bit.
yeah. If I'm on my, you know what I do? You know when you said you need a moment to kind of like check out? I need moments to check out too. I used to play solitaire on my phone.
Yeah.
Now I'm playing another game, but my hand, like I'll take the phone. It's like on the this thing, the tripod. It's like I
Yeah,
gotta get my hand is like the claw. I'm so holding it.
that's
We can work to her podcast.
you can.
What does
You
that
can.
mean?
Because we talk about making things, so it can be
Yeah.
very fun. You can listen. And I mean, I do that. I listen to things while I'm working, while I'm
Oh,
painting,
that's
or
what we can work to her podcast. Oh, that's Vicky. That's Vicky. It says Facebook user, but that's Vicky. She's me because we are working. We had Dion up the other day, and I said, "Oh, Vicky, what?" So I went over and I said, "Hi, Dion." I chatted. I said, "Look, she's gonna say hi to me." And so Dion goes, "Hi, Janice." So Vicky was impressed, right, Vicky?
it's fun.
It
It's
is
fun when
fun.
you get to talk to people while you're doing lives and stuff.
Yeah. Well, I guess it's time to go. 9/11. It's
Oh
9/11.
wow, that went very quickly.
Yeah, it does. It goes by fast. This thing is throwing it in the bonfire.
No,
But thank you
I
so
think it's
much.
coming together. I think it's coming together really well.
God. Thank you so much. I really enjoyed our conversation tonight
Me too.
and your weaving, and I learned so much, and I'm inspired. I hope you all who are listening are inspired too by Danielle, and do her class. I would do your weaving class if I had hands that worked.
I hear
I
you.
would do that. And I want to see more of your canvas work too. So I'm gonna
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna make sure I follow you everywhere.
Come find
Okay.
me.
I will. Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you both so much. You're welcome. I don't know who that is, but thank you guys all for being on. Have a great night. If you catch the replay, I forgot to say that. Please say hi. Danielle, thank you so
Good
much.
night. You're
All right.
welcome.
I'll see you soon. Okay. Bye.